On May 25, 1979, American Airlines Flight 191 departed from Chicago O'Hare International Airport on what was supposed to be a routine journey to Los Angeles International Airport. However, just moments after takeoff, the aircraft suffered a catastrophic mechanical failure that led to the deadliest aviation accident in United States history. All 271 passengers and crew members on board perished, along with 2 individuals on the ground, bringing the total fatalities to 273. The crash of Flight 191 not only left a profound impact on the aviation industry, but also led to significant changes in aircraft maintenance procedures and safety regulations. The aircraft assigned to Flight 191 was a McDonnell Douglas DC-10, a wide-body airliner that had been in service with American Airlines since 1972. The flight crew consisted of highly experienced personnel, including Captain Walter Lux, who had over 22,000 hours of flight experience. First Officer James Dillard and Flight Engineer Alfred Udovich were also seasoned aviators, ensuring a capable team in the cockpit. The flight was carrying a total of 271 individuals, including 13 crew members and 258 passengers. On the day of the accident, the weather in Chicago was clear, with only light winds, making flying conditions seemingly ideal. With no initial signs of technical issues reported, the aircraft was cleared for takeoff at 3:02 p.m. local time. However, unknown to the crew and passengers, a hidden mechanical flaw would soon turn the flight into a devastating tragedy. As Flight 191 accelerated down the runway and lifted off the ground, disaster struck within seconds. The aircraft's left engine, designated as Engine Number 1, detached from the wing due to structural failure in the pylon, which connected the engine to the aircraft. This sudden detachment caused severe damage to the left wing, including the severing of hydraulic lines that controlled crucial flight functions. With the loss of the left engine and critical hydraulic systems, the aircraft began to roll uncontrollably to the left. Within seconds, it banked over 90 degrees, with the left wing pointing downward. The pilots had no time to recover, and at approximately 3,000 feet from the end of the runway, the DC-10 crashed into an open field near a trailer park. Upon impact, the aircraft exploded into a massive fireball, sending debris in all directions and leaving a horrifying scene of destruction. Emergency responders arrived at the crash site within minutes, but there was little they could do to save lives. The explosion and subsequent fire had completely consumed the wreckage, leaving no survivors. Witnesses described the impact as a violent inferno, with flames and thick black smoke rising high into the sky. The force of the explosion was so intense that parts of the aircraft were found scattered across a wide radius. The loss of all 271 passengers and crew members, along with 2 people on the ground, made the disaster the deadliest aviation accident in United States history. In the days that followed, investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board began their painstaking work to determine the cause of the tragedy, which would eventually lead to sweeping changes in aircraft maintenance and inspection protocols. Following the devastating crash of American Airlines Flight 191, the National Transportation Safety Board launched an extensive investigation to determine the exact cause of the accident. Through the analysis of wreckage, maintenance records, and eyewitness reports, investigators uncovered a critical flaw in the aircraft's maintenance procedures that ultimately led to the disaster. The investigation revealed that American Airlines had been using an improper engine removal technique to perform maintenance on its McDonnell Douglas DC-10 fleet. Rather than following the manufacturer's recommended procedure of removing the engine and pylon separately, the airline had been removing them as a single unit to save time and labor costs. This method placed excessive stress on the engine pylon, leading to cracks in the structure. The left engine of Flight 191 had been improperly reinstalled weeks before the crash, and the weakened pylon failed during takeoff, causing the engine to detach. Further investigation exposed broader concerns regarding the design of the DC-10 aircraft. The structural failure not only resulted in the engine separating, but also caused severe damage to hydraulic lines and control mechanisms in the left wing. Without hydraulic power to stabilize the aircraft, the pilots were left with no ability to counteract the uncontrollable left roll. The National Transportation Safety Board concluded that the crash was directly caused by the maintenance error and the resulting structural failure, but it also highlighted design vulnerabilities in the DC-10 that made such failures more catastrophic. The findings of the investigation had immediate and far-reaching consequences for the aviation industry. In response to the crash, the Federal Aviation Administration took the unprecedented step of grounding all McDonnell Douglas DC-10 aircraft in the United States until thorough inspections and safety modifications were completed. Other aviation authorities around the world quickly followed suit, leading to a temporary halt in DC-10 operations globally. The disaster also prompted a major overhaul of aircraft maintenance procedures. Airlines were required to strictly adhere to manufacturer-approved maintenance techniques, and additional regulatory oversight was implemented to ensure compliance. Furthermore, the Federal Aviation Administration introduced stricter inspection protocols for aircraft pylons, hydraulic systems, and engine mounting structures to prevent similar failures from occurring in the future. Beyond maintenance procedures, the crash of Flight 191 played a crucial role in shaping broader aviation safety regulations. The tragedy reinforced the importance of redundancy in flight control systems and led to increased scrutiny of aircraft designs to ensure that the failure of a single component would not immediately lead to a total loss of control. These reforms helped make commercial aviation significantly safer in the years that followed. The impact of American Airlines Flight 191 extended beyond regulatory changes, deeply affecting the families of the victims and the broader aviation community. The sudden and tragic loss of 273 lives left families devastated, and the crash became a stark reminder of the risks associated with air travel at the time. Many of the victims' relatives became vocal advocates for improved aviation safety, ensuring that their loved ones' deaths would lead to meaningful change. To honor those who lost their lives, a memorial was established in Des Plaines, Illinois, near the crash site. The memorial, which was dedicated on the 35th anniversary of the tragedy in 2014, features the names of all 273 victims inscribed on a stone monument. It serves as a solemn reminder of the disaster and a place for reflection and remembrance for the victims' families and the public. To this day, the crash of Flight 191 remains one of the most well-known aviation disasters in history. It is frequently studied by aviation experts, historians, and safety analysts as a case that profoundly influenced modern aircraft maintenance and inspection standards. The lessons learned from the disaster continue to contribute to safer air travel worldwide. The crash of American Airlines Flight 191 was a heartbreaking tragedy that forever changed the aviation industry. While the disaster claimed the lives of 273 individuals, it also served as a catalyst for critical improvements in aircraft maintenance, design, and regulatory oversight. The changes implemented in response to the accident have helped to prevent similar catastrophes, making air travel safer for millions of passengers. Flight 191's place in history is a somber yet significant one. It stands as a reminder of the consequences of maintenance shortcuts and design vulnerabilities, reinforcing the ongoing need for strict safety measures in aviation. The memorial in Des Plaines and the continued focus on aviation safety ensure that the victims of this disaster will never be forgotten.